Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I'm your host, Dylan Cooper, the constant host over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And you guys didn't hear this the first time because some shit went down and we had to stop recording. But I am drinking a hard seltzer this week because I did not feel like drinking. Plus, it is noon and liquor stores aren't open before noon here in Indiana. So I couldn't get other booze anyway.
Yeah, rough time. And yeah, because it's Sunday.
Yep.
That's right. We are recording on the Lord's Day.
Yes.
Therefore,
My wife was going
here.
to get me something for Christmas that was alcohol based, but she couldn't because it was Sunday before noon.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. We had, for the first time on the Heresy Lodge ever, some technical difficulties and had to restart the recording. This was
normally we just go through it and just let it sound like shit.
Yeah, but we made the hard call, or I did. I feel no badness for it. I am drinking a mimosa, not a screwdriver.
At least you got the word right this time.
Yeah, mimosa. It's champagne. I don't have the champagne bottle with me. It's like a
Prosecco.
Prosecco, very basic champagne, with some orange juice, and it's noon on a Sunday. I feel at peace with my mimosa.
That's what you gotta do on Sundays, I think.
I feel like we're having a bit of a brunch here.
Yes, very, very nice brunch.
I'm gonna pretend that we have a pastry and we're in our book club prepared to review Shadows of Treachery.
Yes, part 2. So before we get into that, guys, remember we will be doing our giveaway on December 11th. It will be a Games Workshop voucher. If you're out of the country, don't worry. GW will convert the money to the right currency. So don't worry about that. All you have to do to get involved is comment on the YouTube. You can email us at theheresylodge@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at heresylodge. Join the Discord. It is pinned to the Twitter. It's always fun in there. Join there. Talk with us. All you have to do is just talk to us, and you get entered into the chance to win.
Yes, and actually, by the time that this episode releases, I'm pretty sure our next episode is going to be the one that we give the giveaway at, correct?
I believe so. Let's see.
It's going to be December...
No, this will be December 4th's episode. Oh, wait. Yes. You are.
Is December 4th not the... Are we giving away on the 11th?
Yeah, we're giving away on the 11th.
Okay.
Our 1 year is like the 5th or 6th or something like that.
Yeah, so it's coming up. Yeah, one more podcast before we then do the announcement after this one's released. So coming up a lot faster than I thought, but it's probably because we're doing 2 recordings in 1 week.
Yes.
It seems like it's very quick. So yes, there's that. Please interact with us. We actually are having a lot more interaction on the Discord, and it has been a blast. I really enjoy talking to all those people. So here we are, Shadows of Treachery Part 2.
Yes.
And
they left off last week after the Mechanicum story, right? The Gavin project.
Yes.
Oof,
and
that was a rough one.
I think this is a really good place to start this Sunday brunch discussion with Raven's Flight. Because, Dylan, let me tell you, if you thought the Gavin project was a prequel to a prequel, the Raven's Flight is a prequel to a prequel to a prequel.
Yes, I don't know why they gave us this story.
I don't know why they gave us the Gavin project.
Also
but here
true.
We are. Yeah, so in case you really wanted to know, this is the story of what they already told you happened. It's a prequel to the prequel story to Deliverance Lost. And Gavin wrote the other prequel. What was the other prequel's
and the actual book he wrote, Deliverance Lost.
Yeah, so what I was saying was I'm pretty sure the way that this worked out is like Gavin wrote a huge ass book. And they said, let's cut some of this out.
The other one also called like Raven's Flight?
I don't know.
It was definitely Raven something.
Yeah.
Would it be hilarious if he just wrote the same thing twice?
Oops, we put it in there.
Oh shit, my bad.
But that is not the case. I would actually almost prefer that because then I could have just skipped over it.
Yeah.
But no, here we go. So Raven's Flight. if we remember, let me pull up the page so I can get the names.
Like Bran. Captain
Yeah.
Bran and whatever the hell the Imperium guard guy is.
Yes. Raven's Flight does not actually have an appendix of names. It just goes right into it.
Yeah. Fuck, what the hell is this?
Valerius?
That sounds right.
Palon and Valerius, yes. So Valerius, as we know already from the previous story, starts having dreams about Isfahan 5 occurring on the homeworld of Deliverance, where, as we know, Lord Corax has left Bran in charge while they go to Isfahan 5.
Awesome, but his dreams are lame. It's like Raven screaming.
Ah!
Can you imagine you're
Something's
sleeping,
up at Isfahan.
and the whole time you're dreaming it's just Ravens.
Something's going
I
on
can't
at
fucking
Isfahan.
sleep.
Yeah, so he's having a hard time sleeping. He goes and commissions to Bran, hey, we should go to Isfahan, which in my mind is like, I wonder what they do. So
It's a mystery for sure.
Yeah, that whole portion of the story is Bran saying no. And we see from the Raven Guard, one thing that I really dislike about the Raven Guard is how little chain of command matters. Because Bran just, Valerian, what did I say his name was? Valerius. He just goes anyway.
Pretty much.
This is very similar to what happens that Bran does to Corax in Deliverance Lost, where he's like, I'm gonna blow you up if you go there, like threatening to kill Corax essentially, or just completely disobeying a direct order. And Valerio, but
Valeria. Now you're just making
Valerius,
shit
Valhalla goes. the guy with the military, and Bran gets all pissed off, and the military guy convinces Bran that like, oh, there's nothing to lose if I'm wrong, but there's everything to lose if I'm right. Whatever. I feel like if you tried to argue that to someone in the military, they'd be like, nope.
Yeah, for real.
But Bran decides to go with them. That's fine. That's one portion of the story, and the other portion of the story is actually what's happening on Isfahan. We get really short descriptions of Corax walking amongst the drop site massacre.
Yeah, I will say the thing that's cool about this though is they actually talk about Corax's like power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how he's able to just like walk amongst all the traitors and not a single person can see him.
Yeah, but it's not like he's invisible. He literally, like you've talked about before, like makes them like think that he's just not even there.
Yeah, he manipulates their mind. And what's interesting is like he talks about how scanners and stuff will pick him up, but he can convince people that they're just like messed up.
Yeah, and that's cool.
That is really cool. I really wish there was like I think a big thing missed in this book. I wish he would have came into contact with one of his more intelligent traitor Primarchs.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Horus or Perturabo, or even Lorgar, maybe the Night Haunter, who just kind of like the Night Haunter would have been actually pretty sick because they have this kind of rivalry, even though the Night Haunter has a rivalry with like every
I will fucking kill all of you. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to me because there's so many loyalists that hate the Night Haunter, and it just seems like he doesn't think about them a lot. You know what I mean? But Corax is very scared of the Night Haunter, and it would have been really cool to have this situation where like the Night Haunter's just like sitting there, and Corax walks by, and the Night Haunter like sees him and knows that Corax is there, but then just like lets him go anyway because he's the Night Haunter and he's crazy.
I just imagine like you see like Corax like on his tiptoes, like walking around, and like Night Haunter's literally just staring at him, like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's like I would kill you if this wasn't just super entertaining for me.
Everyone else is like working, and he's just sitting there.
They have the Pink Panther music in the background and everything.
Yeah.
This is the Night Haunter, like Everyone can see you. You're just making a complete fool of yourself.
What the hell is he doing?
Yeah. So that's just like there's really nothing interesting that happens when he's at the drop site. He just is walking
He's
around.
just like looking at it.
He's like, this is messed up. And then he leaves.
Yeah, like what was the point? Like at least if you're gonna go there, like try to assassinate someone or something.
Yeah, he doesn't try to kill anyone, nothing. So I think there was a big miss there. But also, I think when maybe he submitted his idea for a short story, and then they were like, "This again, make it quick." And then we have "Death of a Silversmith" by Graham McNeil.
This one was interesting.
I didn't like it that much.
I liked it just because it was short, and it was just like a change of pace. It
If
wasn't
you like
another
a story,
battle.
If you like a story because it's short, maybe it wasn't a good story.
Well, I mean, like after like the Kaban project, I was like, I really just want like something like small.
Yeah, this was the storyline to it is almost like nothing. It's basically follows a silversmith that was a remembrancer on board the Vengeful Spirit, who was commissioned to make rings by Sejuanis for the Morning Bowl. And he did that, but then he was commissioned to make coins for the lodges. The lodge.
Well, just a coin, because the dude was just gonna like copy it.
Yeah, he was gonna make like a molding.
Yeah.
Coin. Which, by the way, how cool would it be if we were a lodge? I forget that sometimes.
Yeah, I would like to get like coins. I think that'd be cool.
Like a coin, be really awesome looking coin. It'd be the lamest coin.
It's just our faces.
Have you collected the Gavin coin yet? So
cool designs. We put like halos above our heads.
Exactly. Something ridiculous. So that's the story. Basically, when the guy comes to collect the coins, or the coin molding, he kills the silversmith. Now, this is one thing. Do we remember any sort of concept? Because what happens at the end is he's dying, and this was actually another reason why I really hated this book. One second, let me pull up the ending. Where you at?
I mean, so Janice shows up, tries to like revive him, asks who it was that did it.
No, he says at the very end, he goes, "Who did this? What did he say? I dredged the dying memories left to me and forced my killer's last words up through my ruined larynx. I can't say." Like, that's what the killer said to him?
Isn't it like the lodge code?
Is it?
I think so. Like in order for them to get in, like that's like the passcode. Like they ask like who's there, and they say I can't say.
That is not something that I remember, but it's possible. That's
I'm pretty
not
sure
something
that's
that
what it
I
was.
would have remembered. Yeah, it makes sense because there's a secrecy behind them, but kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if there was any sort of instance where Loken was looking into the death of Sejuanis and like found out that he was looking after some remembrancer or some death of a person in the vengeful spirit, but I don't remember that.
I don't think so. I think the only time like Loken was really investigating anything was when someone had died and he found the coin.
Yeah. I don't know.
Also, I don't really understand why the dude killed the silversmith.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't think it's like, because this is obviously before the first scene of the Horse Heresy.
Yeah.
Like if we were to put things in chronological order, it would go The Last Church, Death of a Silversmith, first book.
Yeah. Because like the dude didn't even know who it was. So like who the hell is he gonna tell? Oh, this guy who I don't know
Yeah.
ordered this single coin. Who cares?
Yeah. It was very weird. So, what I don't understand about this is I don't think it was Erebus. Because
No,
Erebus doesn't come on board the Vengeful Spirit until the first book.
no, I think it's the dude that's like in charge of the lodge.
So what doesn't make sense to me about that is the Lodge wasn't inherently evil until after Horus dies.
Yeah,
And then they
I
start
don't
making all
understand.
kinds of negative decisions. So yeah, this kind of like some lodge member before the lodge was bad murdered a remembrancer after making coins. It just seems weird because it takes all of the like concepts of the first book whenever they were trying to convince Loken to join the lodge, right? When they were like, it's actually not that big of a deal. It's just people meeting. And it didn't seem that crazy. But now it's like completely out the wall because it turns out they were murdering people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because like they're like, this is just a place where we can talk without rank mattering.
Yeah. And there was nothing suggested to me in the first book, at least, that they were actively murdering people or doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So I think this story is a little out of place and kind of seems like a bit of a stretch to what we've been told in the rest of the series so far. That's all.
Yeah, it's one of those things like where Graham just kind of just went with something.
Yeah, I feel like this is very similar to me to like The Outcast Dead, where consistency isn't taken into account.
Yeah, but this one I think was written better than Outcast Dead, so maybe it's
Well,
because
it's
there's only
really hard to
17
tell.
pages.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, because it's also Graham McNeil that did this. I feel like Graham McNeil, they have him just like hooked up to a hamster machine writing all kinds of fucking books. As he writes
Get back
so
on that wheel, boy.
he's written 3 from this book alone, and the next book is written by him.
Yeah, that's rough. He's writes so many books for them.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember the last time he did one, and that was The Outcast Dead. So I guess it'd been a little bit, but still. Then we get Prince of Crows by ADB.
Ah, this one's fucking good.
ADB does not disappoint.
He
What
does
was the
not.
first thing we read from ADB?
Um,
Did he do a short story before First Heretic?
I think so. I want to say, did he do the Karn story in the first short novel thingy anthology?
I don't know. Something I feel like the one that he did, we were very big fans of. I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember which one it was.
I'm
Regardless,
looking
though,
him up.
I don't think ADB so far has written anything that we were disappointed in. And goddamn, Prince of Crows does not disappoint.
Yeah, this was really good.
So you have the story sets up like we talked about previously, and the conflict between the Night Lords and the first
Maybe First Heretic was the first.
Dark Angels. Yeah, so between the Night Lords and the Dark Angels. And what we just found out was Conrad Kurz was mortally wounded. He's on life support. And the lion beat the shit out of him.
Which, boo.
Yeah. One of the things I'm disappointed in this book is there are 2 fights that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, for real. We didn't
And
get the one with Kurz and Dorn, and then we got like the end of the Lion and Kurz one.
Not really. We didn't get that.
I
The
thought it said that
story,
like he like sliced his throat or something, like his throat down or some shit.
it might have said like what happened at the end, but it didn't like it wasn't in the fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't like describing
Yeah.
it. So the story picks up with the fleet of the Night Lords retreating. And so what we saw was like as the Night Lords were retreating, they have this group. I can't remember the name of the group.
Like Kyo something,
Kiyovari.
something like that.
Yeah, so they're very similar to the Morning Bull, but essentially they're like the top advisors to the Night Haunter. There's three of them because there's originally seven. So there's three, and they're trying to meet and discuss what the plans are for the future of the Night Lords. And they're discussing retaliation against the first. And they're talking about how Servitar, who's Chiroptera, yeah. Talking how Servitar, who's the leader of the Chiroptera, obviously like the main dude, and he's the main character of this book. They're like, yeah, he's dead. You know, he died. How shameful. He stayed back so people could escape. How ridiculous.
Yeah, what a jackass.
And then Servitar, they get like a comm, and they're like, Servitar's ship is here. And they're like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they said that like the main ship was like destroyed and gone, and then it just fucking shows up.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, that's ridiculous. Servitar cannot survive. And they're like, no, you don't understand. Servitar is here. And then the door opens up. There's Servitar. And you get like
what's
this
up,
raw.
Bitches?
That's pretty much exactly his attitude. He gets these raw fucking lines from Servitar. Like one of my favorite lines. He goes, oh, so you three are three survivors of the Chiroptera. How unfortunate. You were my least favorite three. Like,
yeah,
so
for real.
fucking cool. And he just like basically makes fun of them for the fact that they were trying to seek revenge on the first. He's like, really? We would lose that. We just tried it. Like, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I don't even understand like their thought process either. Like, what do you think they're going to accomplish? Just to die?
Here's the thing, right? I fully expect any Astartes Legion out there to go and be like, I seek revenge upon them for doing this. This would not surprise me if anyone, I'm talking the Emperor's Children, Sons of Horus, Iron Warriors, Iron Hands. The only ones that wouldn't do this are the Night Lords. And that's when Servitar shows up and is like, that's just not what we do. I'm like, but don't you want vengeance? And he's like, why? I don't give a fuck. I don't, we're not supposed to care about vengeance. We just go and do what we do best. Like, how are we going to survive? That's the key thing, right? Like, how are we going to get more power? That's the key thing. We don't do that by just full frontal assault on the First Legion. That's insane. So he decides to assassinate in the coolest way.
I really like it too, because like at one point, like he like even threatens him. He's like, "Look, I really don't want to have to walk across the room to get my fucking what does he carry around?
It's not a sword. It's like a halberd.
Yeah, he's like, I really don't want to walk over there to get that to kill you guys.
Yeah, he's like, don't make me get up and walk all the way across the room. It would be a shame. And then he starts to leave to go check on the Primarch. But what actually happened is one of the captains, the Chiroptera people, they're like, hey, you left your spear. And he's like, I'll come back for it later. And that captain's sitting there remembering, like, last I recall, that spear is actually a teleport beacon to bring in the Terminator squad that follows him. So he flees the room. The Terminators show up and murder the other two people at the Chiroptera. But Servitar lets the third one live. She was like,
what's even funnier too, because Servitar's just sitting outside the door, like I imagine, like he just has his arms folded, like leaning on the back, like, oh, look at that. One of you's not an idiot.
Yeah, and he's like, because you're not an idiot, I'll let you survive. So it was cool. It was really cool to see that. Just like automatically, as soon as the story starts up, you get this beginning portion. And I'm like, this is going to be great. Everything about this is going to be amazing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Servitar then goes to visit the Night Haunter's like room. It's like quarters.
Yeah.
And goddamn,
it's weird.
Night Haunter is a weird man. So we all know the Night Haunter has visions of people's deaths. But apparently he has really bad dreams. He is just he's literally haunted. by all kinds of stuff. And I think a lot of it is just paranoia. He's probably very similar to me.
Dude, you've had like 13 heart attacks. I don't know what you mean.
Exactly. So I think, he walks in and he sees all these dead bodies. And
hanging on hooks.
yeah. And the Night Hunter also has a servant. Trying to figure out the name of the servant. Trez.
Yeah, Trez.
Yeah, so Trez is there. And from everything I can tell, Trez is a psyker.
Yep.
That has some sort of ability to manipulate people's dreams.
Yeah, something like that, I would assume.
Yeah,
he's there to help Night Hunter's dreams.
Yeah, he's called the Sin Eater. So the way I actually think this might be working is he's like absorbing some of the things that Night Hunter is taking upon him.
No, it would have been smarter. I don't know. They
Yeah,
had a single Sister of Silence there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like that's the problem that Conrad Kurz is facing. Can a Sister of Silence really shut down Magnus?
I mean, he's maybe.
Oh yeah, we don't know. We don't really get an interaction between that powerful of a psyker and one Sister of Silence. Like what is Conrad Kurz? What's happening to him? Is it psychic? Is it some sort of crazy?
I would assume so, because I mean, if you think about like when we had the Pariah and Fear to Tread, like the people were having like fucked up dreams until she was around, and then like it was fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe it's something they should have tried. I don't know. Yeah, but Trez is there. He's talking to Sevatar about how the Primarch has had really fucked up dreams, yada, 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 whatever. And apparently they revealed like the Primarch, Conrad is like really dying. Like he's died like 60 times and they keep bringing him back to life. Like
yeah.
Crazy shit.
I'm just imagining just like constantly just being shocked.
Yeah, it was nuts. And I thought it was very, it's very funny that like I can't even imagine a Primarch being brought back to life, but this Conrad Kurz bring it back. Yeah, so Sevatar is obviously really annoyed with Trez just by his presence. He's just like, I really hate you. And he keeps calling him by his first name, Jago.
Yeah.
And you get like eventually later on you get like a backstory into Jago, but not yet. But Trez kept saying that he knows Sevatar's secret. Jago's secret. And Sevatar, he's so badass. He just like handles this super well. And at the end, he's just like, call me Jago one more time.
We'll fucking kill you, Trez.
Yeah. And that's when Trez is like,
sorry, Sevatar.
Okay, Sevatar. Because Trez is clearly overstepping his bounds. And Sevatar,
he's also just like an old man.
Yeah, Sevatar just doesn't really give a shit. Then he has a meeting with Sevatar decides to call in more Night Lords. What he's doing is he's building his own Chiroptera. He's saying, these are the 7 people I want in charge. And he goes to the meeting room of the Night Hunter's like room, right? His like personal quarters to have this meeting, and Trez is there. And he's like, get out of here, Trez. We're about to have a meeting. And Trez like begs to stay. And Sevatar's like, fine, you can stay. That's fine with me. And then when they're having the meeting, they're asking about what happened to the Primarch. Sevatar's like, well, Trez isn't doing his job. And then you have like 6 of them turn to try and kill Trez. And Trez is like, oh. And Sevatar's like, I told you should leave. And it's like, this is great. Like, this is such a character of Sevatar where he's just like, I told you should leave. Like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Dude, I tried to protect you.
Yeah. And Sevatar asked him to stop killing Trez because he was like, he may be useful with his psychic abilities, yada, yada. But how did you feel about some of the Night Lords that he chose?
Well, one of them's not even a fucking Night Lord.
Yeah. What is going on with that? Is
I
it
don't
ever
understand where this
explained?
Raven Guard came in.
That is super strange. I wonder if I can like figure out. It's Alistar Rushal.
Like out of nowhere, we just had this Raven Guard who's just hanging out with them, who had his tongue cut out.
By Servitor.
I can see that.
Rochelle either defected to the Night Lords or was captured by them after the events of the Dropsite Massacre. Regardless of his reason for joining the Legion, he was subject to torture and had his tongue removed. Still wearing the armor of the Raven Guard, Rochelle became a high-ranking member of the Legion and a member of the Cow of Terror despite leading no forces of his own. Rochelle became a close ally of Sevatar.
Interesting.
It's weird because it states that this may be the only book he's in.
That's weird. What the hell's the point?
Yeah, maybe a big oversight there. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so there's one they call the Raven. He is a Raven Guard that defected, apparently. He's working with them. He can't talk. I don't know how accurate that would be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would necessarily ever happen.
I don't know. It was a Raven Guard. I could see it.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, if it was a word bearer, absolutely. But, yeah. You have
well, maybe he's actually an Alpha Legionnaire. He's like, well, fuck. I'm in too deep now.
I'm a triple agent. Yeah, that's kind of funny. If I think about that, because they did infiltrate the Raven Guard.
Yeah. He's like, oh, son of a bitch. How did I get over here, the Night Lords? God damn it.
Damn it. Now I know I'm a tongue. I can't even say I am Alfarius. That's
makes a
funny.
Hydra symbol with his fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's all kinds of other commanders he brings in. I don't really want to go into the minutiae of the commanders. I don't think they're that super important, but basically Servitor's idea is this. I'm going to hand you a portion of the Legion. Go do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah, he's like, we're not going to operate well striking as one large force. What we're going to do is go take a portion, go plunder and raid, go take fucking money from places, go do whatever you want. Like, just take a raiding party. And what's interesting is that's actually what the Night Lords do now.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure what happens is after this book, that's just what occurs. Forever.
Hey, gotta do your raping, your not
Pilgriming. I am a pilgrim.
Where are the turkeys?
Yes.
It is time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But Servitor says that he's planning to take a group of people back to Horus and lay siege to Terra. And that's when, like, some people are like, oh, but Horus isn't going to like that. And Servitor's like, I don't give a flying fuck what Horus wants. He's like, you think we served the Emperor? Do you think we serve Horus? We don't serve anybody. We're traitors. That's what we do, by very definition. So he just doesn't care about loyalty. He just kind of wants to be doing what makes sense for him. And what made sense for him was try to take back Terra. After this meeting where he reveals this information, he goes to check on Conrad Kurz with Trez. And he tells Trez that he wants to use his psychic ability. Turns out Servitor is a psyker.
Yeah, pretty fucking cool.
He has the ability to do what? Infiltrate people's dreams, right?
Oh, well, that's what he did, but I feel like we talked about this last episode, 2 episodes ago, where he kind of like slows down like time and stuff, kind of like Zahariel.
Oh yes, that's right. I remember this because that's what happens in combat.
Yeah, I don't know if if it's like the exact same thing, because like Zahariel can like see like vital spots. I don't know if he actually does that, or if he actually just slows shit down. And he's like, oh, do.
Right. Yeah, I would say it's kind of unknown right now. Maybe we need to get more on that. We need some more Sevatar. Hey, GW, can you just make a book about
That'd be
Sevatar?
way better. Fuck the Night Haunter book. Give us just a Servitor book.
I would read that thing so fast. But he goes into the Night Lord's mind, and or the Night Haunter's mind, and we get the backstory of the Night Haunter during this time, which was super cool. So the Night Haunter's from Nostromo, he's one of the very few Primarchs not to land on a death world. He landed on a hive world. Just huge cities all over the place. And he grew up, the city was just crime infested. Like it was ran by gangs. He grew up as a cannibal. He murdered people and ate them. He would eat dogs and rats and stuff in the sewers. And he became feared because he would hunt down and kill gang members. He was like a Batman.
Yeah.
He was like a fucked up
cannibal Batman.
Evil Batman. A Warhammer 40K version of Batman. And basically what happened was like he grew to power because everyone was just so fucking scared of him. He would kill gang leaders all the time, just randomly show up and murder gangs and gang leaders. He didn't even have followers. A lot of the other Primarchs, they rose to power by inciting some sort of rebellion with a group of people, right? They would get together like a army.
Militia.
Yeah. Night Lord just did it all by himself.
I mean, he did like fucked up shit though. Like he'd like broadcast and like skinning people alive and shit.
Yeah, so the whole city feared him, and once he rose to power, he started the punishments even more. So he created a curfew, and if people broke curfew, he would kill them. He created things you can't say, and if you said them, he would kill you, broadcasting it. And eventually, Nostromo became like this most compliant planet ever. They did exactly what was being said of them. But the truth is, like, it was slavery.
Yeah.
People were slaves to fear. And that's when the Imperium shows up. And it was really cool, kind of that first scene where a lot of the Primarchs meet Conrad.
Yeah, I actually really want to talk about the visions he had of the Primarchs.
Yeah. So there were 4 Primarchs that went to meet him. You had Fulgrim, Ferrus Manus, it was a Dorn, and who was the 4th one?
Was there 4? I thought there was only 3.
I thought there was 4.
That was 3 plus imps.
Emperor was there. Was Sanguinius not there?
No. For sure, it was just Fulgrim, Manus, Dorn.
Okay, that makes sense. It would be right around here. No, maybe not. It would actually be somewhere in here. There were a few, but maybe that's it. Oh, here it is. Lorgar.
Oh, shit. I don't know how I forgot about Lorgar. Actually, I do know how I could forget about Lorgar.
Yeah. Lorgar, Ferrus Manus, Rogel Dorn, and Fulgrim. So he went across each of the people. The first person he came across was Dorn. And Dorn he saw...
like being like stabbed a bunch of times, right?
The giant die, dragged down by 100 murderers in a dark tunnel, their knives and sword wet with the warrior's blood. That's pretty accurate.
I don't know how Dorn dies.
If he dies. There are very few Primarchs that we have like 100% confirmed deaths. But so Sevatar has a vision of Dorn's death, and I find it interesting that like it's talked about this early on.
Yeah.
The second giant was Lorgar. The Night Haunter said nothing. He saw this warrior crowned in psychic fire, screaming up at a burning sky. Yeah, so we don't have any. We know actually at this point, even in 40K. I mean, I don't want to ruin a lot of things, but Lorgar is still there in a way, and this is kind of his current stance, like what he's doing. So it's interesting that the Night Lord is having these kind of visions. Now, obviously, this isn't a vision of his death, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe we just don't know. Maybe this is how Lorgar dies. The third one was Ferrus Manus. Yeah, we see how he dies. Warrior's head clutched by its empty eye sockets and another man's armored fingers. Yes, this is how Ferrus Manus dies. And he dies to the next Primarch he meets, which is Fulgrim. He saw this final giant in only the faintest of images, always slithering and laughing, never entirely visible.
Which makes me think he's still possessed.
Well, this is supposed to be how they die. So obviously that he doesn't see Fulgrim's death. He saw all the other Primarch's death except for Fulgrim's. And
that's why I think like his like quote unquote death is him just like not being there anymore.
Right. And I think that's what happens to Lorgar too later on.
Yeah, like
but
being
possessed.
A Chaos Chosen, possessed type of deal.
But with Fulgrim in particular, I think we're going to see a lot of this in Angel Exterminatus. How that comes to fruition. But then when he goes to talk to the Emperor, the Night Haunter like sees the death of the Imperium and starts having like a stroke, a seizure, basically.
Yeah.
And the Emperor touches him, and it all stops. I want to talk a little bit about this because Conrad Kurz had multiple visions of the death of the Emperor and the death of the Imperium. He even shared it with Fulgrim, who told it to Dorn. And we get this kind of scene in the Lightning Tower that he's very upset with himself that he didn't take Conrad Kurz's vision seriously. Because Conrad Kurz, even at this point, he was probably the only being, maybe other than the Emperor, that was like, hey, I know that this is going to happen with absolute certainty. So we talked a little bit about whether or not we thought the Emperor knew that the heresy was going to happen. And the Emperor, we decided, probably knew there was going to be a heresy, but he wasn't sure on the specifics because all of the visions he would see are up to interpretation. You know what I mean? Whereas Conrad Kurz only really gets one vision of the death, and it's pretty spot on.
But the thing is, like I know, like he's seen his own death, right?
Yeah.
So instead of that's not how you know, like that's how you're supposed to die. Obviously, you would have been on the traitor side. Why don't you put 2 and 2 together and be a loyalist, and then you can pretty much assume your father will not kill you.
Yeah, so we did kind of skip over, I think, a very important conversation that covers this a lot. Is you have Sevatar talking to Trez, and Trez is like, oh, he's seen his own death. This isn't how he dies. And Sevatar's like, really? Then why the fuck is he in the hospital bed? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, that seems kind of stupid. This, like, Sevatar really calls out this whole seeing your own death thing, and he thinks about it the same way you do, where it's like, it kind of seems like this is a little blown over the top, you know? And Trez is like, oh, it's real. And Sevatar's like, oh, it's real. Whatever. And in this scene, what this actually is the Night Lord's dream. You know, or the Night Haunter's dream. He's reliving this memory. And during this dream, when he's talking to the Emperor, that's when the scene freezes, and Servitar's there talking to Conrad Kurz. And how do you feel about the relationship Servitar and Conrad Kurz have?
It's interesting because Silvertar just kind of gives it to him.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, most people will, like bow down to their Primarch. Silvertar's not that way.
Not at all. He is annoyed with his Primarch. He has unwavering loyalty to his Primarch, which is something that no other Night Lord has.
Yeah, but he's
We
also
see
just
that.
like, despite his flaws, just he almost seems like a good person.
Yes.
Where, like, he cares about, like, his team. Like, we'll talk about this a little bit later in the story, where, like, he's like, I'm not gonna just let them go die without me. Like, if they're gonna die, I'm gonna be next to them.
Right. He has, and like in the beginning, even we saw like Servitar stayed back,
Yeah,
so more ships could
save more
escape the
people.
first. What is up with this guy? I thought he's super evil. Well, he's not super evil. The way Servitar is he is surrounded by liars and traitors. He likes it because that's what he enjoys. But he doesn't have time for people who think they're badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people who think they have these like ideas that they're amazing because Servitar knows he can kill them. So he's kind of like the king of these liars and traitors because he's the best at it. But he respects just regular, everyday people, you know? And he has this kind of loyalty to the Night Haunter because he is actually better than Servitar at what he does, or at least is equal. And I think the Night Haunter likes this about Servitar. I think the Night Haunter almost views Servitar as his equal. I think Night Haunter views Servitar as better than the other Primarchs.
Yep.
I don't think the Night Haunter would let any of the other Primarchs talk to him like Servitar does.
Probably not. But I think it's also, you had that camaraderie, right? Like,
Yeah.
they've both been through shit. I'm sure he knows how, like, Silvertar came to, like, be.
Yeah.
They both live that same, like, I'm sitting here eating fucking people to survive.
Yeah. Servitar's backstory, you get into it near the end. It's actually really fucked up.
Yeah.
But what I think is happening is you get a short conversation, we'll talk about it in just a minute, of how Conrad Kurz is surrounded by these unloyal liars, traitors, evil people, and Servitar he's a badass and he can kill all those people and he will backstab them. But I think Servitar is a breath of fresh air to the Night Haunter.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he does have this unwavering loyalty. We even see at the end when people are like, Night Haunter's probably dead, and Servitar's like, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys keep doubting this guy. It seems
We're already
really
kill a
stupid.
Primarch.
But you also kind of have this like almost disappointment that he's not dead.
Yes.
Servitar's
they're like, oh, we gotta be the ones in charge.
Well, even Servitar, he's almost like annoyed, probably for multiple reasons. He's probably annoyed that Conrad isn't dead because he's like, he keeps making stupid decisions. Like Servitar would run the Night Lords 20 times better.
Yeah, probably. He's kind of like Luther with like the blood or the Dark Angels, right? Like he could run it way better.
And on top of that, I bet you Servitar is wanting Conrad Kurz to die in a way that he doesn't foresee. Because Servitar is just kind of annoyed with all this pathetic shit that Conrad keeps running. And Conrad's like, I'm going to die this way. And Servitar's like, I hope you die way sooner than that, just to prove you wrong. But when the time gets stopped and they're kind of walking through all of these and having a conversation, they're walking through all the legions and the processions and the emperor and stuff. One thing that's interesting is Servitar, I want to talk about this, refuses to look at the emperor.
Yeah, because he said that the last time he did, he like lost his eyes.
Apparently that's something that happened on Nostromo. When the emperor visited Nostromo, people went blind for the rest of their life because they looked at the emperor. That
What
is
the fuck?
super interesting. I have not experienced that before. Many of the Astartes have looked at the Emperor, but for some reason, the Night Lords can't look at the Emperor, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a little
It's
crazy.
another thing. I definitely think the Night Lords are supposed to represent this kind of evil portion of the Emperor. And because of that, they can't really look upon the Emperor himself.
Yeah, like the purity or whatever.
Yeah. And this is, to me, the only time I've seen this. And I think it's the only legion that suffers from this problem.
So happens every time I go to church too. I just fucking go blind.
Oh my God. Yeah.
God damn it.
And you have a couple really key conversations. The first conversation they have, Sevatar asks, "Why do you hate us?" Because he's kind of curious. I don't think it's like bothering him. He's just like, "Why do you hate your legion?" And Conrad Kerr says, "I hate them," because Sevatar's kind of saying like, we're like the exact same thing as you. And Conrad Kurz kind of delivers this line where he's like, well, I am evil, so other people don't have to be. People fear me, so other people don't have to, be evil and have people fear them. He's trying to say he's like the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
And Surutar's like, that's stupid. It's like, that would never work. And Conrad Kurz, or Surutar saying, is there not another way to do that? Is there not another way to get people to be nice to each other than just having one figurehead that is so scary? It obviously didn't work on our home planet.
Yeah. I mean, you fucking blew it up.
Yeah, and Conrad's saying like, well, that's because our planet was more complicated than anything else. And Surutar's like, other legions have successfully made compliance on other planets. Surutar's like, well, they didn't have to go through what we did. And Surutar's like, I don't know about that. Like, Surutar's really kind of calling out all the bullshit and ridiculousness of the Night Haunter. The Night Haunter believes a bunch of things that ruin the Legion itself. And Servitar's really putting it back on him, saying, like, this is actually your fault. This is on you. And I don't think the Night Haunter really learned a lesson from it. Servitar just wanted to say it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Servitar.
Oh, I do too. I mean, there's what, 17 other Primarchs that don't do the shit he does and have completely compliant planets that stay compliant.
Yeah. And
hell, the fucking word bearers didn't fucking kill shit for a long time and had like an insanely high like compliance rates of the planets that they made compliant.
Yeah. And it makes you really wonder, like, why Comrade Kurz could be so dumb. I know, like, going into the series, like, I thought Comrade Kurz was amazing. And now it's like he's kind of like the lion. He's kind of stupid. And, very similar to what he said, Servitar is very much like Luther, where he's like, actually, what you're doing is not even correct. What you see with the Primarchs is they kind of get focused on a single subject. And they're like, this is the way it has to be all the time.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's just never works. So I love this scene. I love the way Servitar gives it back to the Primarch. I love the conversations that they have. Yeah, so this scene right here is like probably one of my favorite scenes that I've read in the Heresy.
Really cool.
You see all kinds of like really cool stuff. Like Servitar is walking amongst the Emperor's children, and he's like, I wonder if I kill this guy now, I won't have to do it in real life, And he's like,
yeah,
that
I wonder
just
who
like
it was.
I've like 100%
Like
it's Eidolon. Yeah. Which we'll have to talk about Eidolon.
So one of our comments on YouTube when we talked about the episode where he got beheaded, he's like, don't want to spoil too much, but You see it a lot again. I'm like, son of a bitch.
You do. An angel exterminatus.
Gah.
He cometh
Disgusting.
back. Which is a real shame because they also killed
I hope
Niniel
it's
in
just
that
like a
book.
giant butt plug for Fulgrim.
Edelon.
Get in there.
Oh, jeez. So then you get like the kind of ending of the story is for the First Legion finds them and brings their entire armada with them. And you get a real brief thing where Servitar's like, I wonder how they did that.
Yeah.
And obviously we know. We know
Yeah,
that
from
the Lion now has access to this crazy cool technology. But Servitar, during this process, the Night Hunter wakes up and makes his way over to attack the primary ship that the Lion is on. What is it? What is it called? The Invincible Reason?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So the Night Lord, along with Servitar's squad, gets onto the flagship. Servitar's idea was, let's send in like a few ships so the rest of the ships can escape and go do some
he
really cool
wanted
stuff.
50 ships to stay to basically sacrifice themselves for the rest.
Yeah, and then the Night Hunter's like, fuck that, let's go in and kill the
Night
Lion.
Hunter's like asleep until like that starts happening, and the ship that has him gets like all the way to the edge and then stops.
Yes.
And then someone like lets Servitar know, and he's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know, right? He's like, all right, Servitar, let's go fuck up the ship. And Servitar's like, why didn't you just fucking die? I had this.
You could have been asleep for like 25 more minutes, and this would have been done. Like,
yeah.
Our captain over here, genius idea. He was about to make his name in the record books, and you're going to fuck all this up.
Yeah, so he does. Like, the Night Hunter does, like, I don't give a fuck about your plans. I don't care who dies. I just want to go kill the Lion. I want to go kill the Lion. Like, come on, this is what I live for. We fought like 6 times. I'm going to go kill him again. I'm so excited. Even though he got his ass beat the last time, apparently. He's like, this is the time, Servitar. And
I'm 100% now.
It's like, I can just imagine, like, in 2 short stories from now, one of the Night Hunters, it's just Servitar on a desert planet trying to escape. And right before he does, there's the Night Hunter popping up. We got to go kill the Lion, Servitar. Let's go.
God
Servitar's like, God, it's just me and you now. We're the only 2 left alive. You keep wanting to try and kill the Lion. And it's not even like the Night Hunter hates the Lion. He's just like, I want to go kill something, and the Lion makes the most sense.
He's such a douche. Come on.
I know. Like, if there was another Primarch, like a system over, they'd be like, let's go kill that one. Let's go. So Conrad Kurz makes his way onto the flagship, and the rest is Servitar, like, trying to figure out in the heat of this fucking battle how to make it onto the flagship to fight.
Because like he was on his way, and then like his ship like lost full power.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck.
So he decides his ship's probably going to get sacrificed. So he calls in like a Valkyrie. It's like a manned vessel, small, like it's like a fighter vessel, right?
Yeah, it's like a fighter jet type of shit.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, come to my position and pick me up. So they swing in, pick him up, and this is a crew that he's actually grown fond of. They're mortals, and he reveals that he's fond of them because they remind him of his family on Nocturne. Nostromo. Nocturne is the salamanders. Nostromo. Turns out Servitar's a salamander.
All 3 of them.
So, yeah, I'm actually all 3 of the salamanders left, and I'm a Night Lord. How confusing is that? So he gets on top of the ship, thrusts the spear into the ship, and then rides it through space.
He's like, all right, let's fucking go.
And they're like, are you sure about this? He's like, I don't know, how else I'm going to get over there.
Yeah, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and like they're like, you could die. You're probably gonna die. And he's like, well, I'm probably gonna die here. So just go. We'll figure it out. And so obviously, since he's Servitar, he lives because he's a badass.
But it's like hilarious. Like he's like flying through space, and he's like, man, this was a really fucking bad idea. Why did I think this was a good idea?
Yeah, he's very human. Servitor has all these like human thoughts all the time, and it's just so funny. Like I could really see like Ryan Reynolds playing him super
Yeah, because
well,
that would be
very
awesome.
Deadpool-esque. He was like, "This is so stupid. Why did I do this?" I'm in here in space, holding on to this ship by a spear, just riding it.
We're going around it. We're going like hundreds of miles per hour. We're going upside down and shit, trying to dodge things. And I thought this was a smart idea.
Yeah. So finally, they actually make it to the flagship.
How
They
they got to the flagship's even better. Because he's like, look, you just got to get me over there. She's like, let me one up that idea. You're already doing stupid shit. So let's do stupid shit too. And then she just flies them right into their own cargo bay.
Yeah, right into the hangar. It's not like they dropped them off at some sort of hatch. It's not like the Death Star where you can just like drop into a hole and then you're good. Nope. Right into the hangar. Everyone's like really fucking confused. He
What
jumps
the hell?
off. Like as soon as he jumps off, she just like light speeds it out of the hangar. She's like, I don't want to die. So she leaves. And then he's just laying there like, fuck. I'm in the middle of their ship.
Man, I am really dizzy.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like dog shit after that. But
and like they're all shooting him, and he's just like, I can't even deal with you guys right now. I gotta go
Yeah.
over there.
I gotta find my way to the Primark. So he goes in and he just starts like murdering a bunch of people. And finally he gets like cornered in this hallway. And what's so funny is like Servitor is like behind this hall, like taking fire, and he hears them talking to each other, and they're like, that was Servitor. Oh my god. Because Servitor's super famous. And
Yep.
Servitor's like, it's because of these stupid looking fucking helmets.
Yeah, I was like, man, why do I have such a cool helmet?
I thought he was saying it was stupid. Like he's looking at his helmet, like, yeah, because whoever made these dumbass looking wings.
I think
And
this
then
is like lightning bolts or something on it.
yeah, and then the Raven is what they call him. He shows up, and kills the two guys. So him and the Raven make it into the cargo.
I love the interaction. He's like, man, you will not believe how I got here.
Yeah.
And the fucking dude can't even talk. He's like, ooh,
yeah, like very like Deadpool saying, you will not believe how I got here. And then they just make their way into the fight, and it's in this like storage area. And Servitor's like, this is pitiful. He's like, there's no way we're gonna win this. This is like
this is this. Why would you fight here? There's like 35 entrances. Why would you fight here?
Yeah, and he's like, Conrad, you fucking maroon. So he like jumps into the fight. He's unlocked his psychic ability at this time because when he went and visited the mind of his Primarch, he kind of like he had unlocked this potential that he's been trying to keep back for a long time. And it wasn't because of an IKEA. I highly doubt the Night Lords gave a flying fuck about an IKEA. I think it was just to save his life because it's killing him apparently.
Yeah.
So throughout this time with his psychic ability unlocked, he was killing like 5 Dark Angels every second. Like it was stupid.
Like I don't know why I'm just so much faster and stronger than fucking everybody. But all these fuckers are so slow. Shit.
Yeah, it was like he was on some crazy drug. He was murdering people. Just left and right. It was crazy. And then he started to have like a nosebleed, and he felt like he thought he was going to die, and he just passed out.
Yeah, and then he's captured. Which
he wakes up in a jail.
If I was the fucking Dark Angels, like sure, capture the other one, but I would be fucking killing Sevatar.
Yeah, why would you not kill Sevatar?
Yeah, like that's gonna be your biggest threat. Get rid of him.
I love that they put him in a concrete prison at first, and he was like, and then I spit through the wall. And I didn't try to escape. The guard came, and I pointed, and I was like, must be water damage. Like he just wanted to show the Dark Angels that they couldn't imprison him. So then they put a bunch of them into one power field prison, and he was like, that was also stupid. And everyone's like kind of talking shit. And he's like, well, how are we going to get out of here? And Servitar's like, the same way we do everything. We're going to kill. And apparently you find out that the Night Haunter escaped. the battle, and
He's just like in the ship.
He's just running around the ship, various places, murdering people.
Which is honestly the most Night Haunter thing.
Yeah, and they're like, "Do you think he's gonna come rescue us?" And Sevatar's like, "No, I don't
Definitely
think
not.
I wouldn't bet money on it." So overall, just a fucking great story.
The one thing though, like they, like in this thing too, like he's like bleeding again, and it makes me fear for the longevity of Serpentar.
I don't think Sevatar was ever supposed to live forever.
But he should.
Sevatar is the saint,
He's
man.
supposed to be Deadpool.
Servitar is the guy that could show up right now in 40K and run the Imperium better than Gilman. Yeah, I am a huge fan of his character. He's written amazingly. ADB is fucking phenomenal. What a well done. It's so hard to write comedy in books, I think.
Yeah. Too bad he's gonna die eventually, which makes me sad.
Yeah, it does. It does make you sad, and it makes you sad because he's such a good character. Not like he's a good person. He's so well written, and that's really good. Whenever you have a villain that you're sure is gonna die, but you're like, I don't want him to die because I really enjoy the scenes with him in it. That's amazing writing.
He's not ready for that loss.
Neither am I. So, yep, that was the Prince of Crows.
Oh, we didn't even get his little background too. Like it's about like him being a kid and like pretty much it's like around crows all the time. It was like
he was a cannibal.
Crows, yeah.
He would kill people on Nostromo and bring them to his like little cave area where the crows would feast on the dead bodies, and he would eat some of them too, and then he would sleep in a pile of crows.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But that was Sevatar.
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah, great book. Definitely worth the read and the watch if you can.
There's a video somewhere, I'm sure.
It's just absolutely phenomenal. Sevatar 8 is by far my favorite character in Horus Heresy.
Yep, agreed. He's just so
yeah, and it does suck that he will die eventually, but he's just super well written. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, not his death, but more of him.
Yeah, looking forward to more of him.
But yeah, guys, that is the review part 2 of Shadows of Treachery. Next week, we're going to talk Space Marines.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk first captains, not just first captains. Who is the best Space Marine? I think we kind of just gave away our answer a little bit, or maybe it's someone else.
Yeah, I mean, we gave our top 5 a couple episodes ago.
We've been talking a lot about in the Discord about if we had to choose 5 Primarchs to do the Crusade, who would they be? And we're going to give you the list and our explanations of each one.
Yeah, that was an interesting conversation.
So also heated debate.
Yes, very heated for all the reasons.
Uh-huh.
If you guys have ones, let us know. Let us know your 5.
And next week is open discussion too. So if there is a topic that you want to hear us discuss, let us know by any way of communication. That will also get you entry to win our giveaway next month.
Yeah, just make sure it's not like there's some things like we probably don't want to talk about yet. Like one of the one is like specifically like first captains and stuff. But, like we haven't heard of anything of like the White Scars and things like other legions, so it's hard to do a full list without knowing all of them yet. So make sure it's about around, where we are right now.
Yeah, and if we are going to do the list, like when we give our top Space Marines, we will be excluding the Salamanders and the White Scars because we just don't know anything about them yet.
Yeah. And I guess the fucking Iron Hands too, because they died.
They're all dead. Yeah.
Except for the first captain. I think the first captain's still there.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Medusa.
But hey, that is it for us. If you want to get in our giveaway, like we said before, all you gotta do is interact with us. Join the Discord. You can do that by going on our Twitter. It's pinned to the top at Heresy Lodge. You can DM us, tweet at us, whatever. Give us suggestions for the open discussion. Email us at theheresiolodge@gmail.com. Leave us a comment on the YouTube. Also, please like and subscribe to our videos. And leave a review on whatever you listen to us on. That's it, guys. We'll be back next week to talk Space Marines and whatever else you want to hear. You guys have a good one. And for our U.S. listeners, happy Thanksgiving. I think that's it. Anything else you want to add, Gavin?
Nope, that's about it. This will definitely be after Thanksgiving its release, but it's
Yeah.
all good.
Hey, I do some Thanksgiving shit on the weekend. It's fine.
Better late than never.
Exactly. You guys have a good weekend.